day everyone, today I'm going to discuss to you what is Canadian English, together with my groupmates Miss Lovely Taladua and Mr. Genryl Garrido. Canadian English is a variety of the English language that is used in Canada. More than 90 million Canadians, or 57% of the population, reported using English as their language in the 2016 Canadian Census. English is the first language of approximately 24% of the population in Quebec, the only Canadian province where French is the majority language. Canadian English contains elements of British English and American English in its vocabulary, as well as many distinctive Canadians in terms of phonetics and phonology. Canadian English varieties are most similar to those of American English, with some influence from British English. Canadian English also has established uniform spelling with British English due to Canada's membership in the Commonwealth of Nations. However, Canadian English maintains American forms such as is endings instead of the British is or is.
Hello everyone, good day. My name is Lovely Joy Taladua, and now we are going to talk about how Canadian English differ from any other Englishes around the world, and of course, how it differ from the American English. If you're going to put an average American and an average Canadian in the same room, you may not pick up on the subtle differences of their accents, especially when the American was from the northern state near the Canadian borders, like Michigan and so on, where Americans tend to emphasize their vowels. However, if you take a closer look and listen to these two Englishes or English dialects from the neighboring country, you'd be surprised to find out that they have quite few differences in their use of English languages.
First differences, we have the spelling.
In the spelling, you may notice the Canadian English prefers to use the "u" in words like humor and behavior, as well as flipping the American use of to re, in certain words like theater to theatre, and center to centre. Canada isn't alone in preferring these spellings. British spellings of these words are taught across most of the world. Another difference between American English and Canadian English is in how each adds suffixes to words. Canadian prefers to use double consonants, while American keep their consonants single. For example, Canadians will turn travel into traveled, but American will use traveled instead.
Another one is the units of measurement. In the units of measurement, the United States uses its own customary system of units. Canada, like most of the world, officially uses the metric system. That does not, however, always transfer into practice, especially in everyday conversation. For example, many Canadians still prefer to announce their baby's weight in pounds rather than kilograms, and Canadian dealership may advertise a car's miles per gallon even though their speed limit sign are in kilometer per hour. Here in phrasing, we cannot discuss the difference between American and Canadian English without touching on question tags. Like nearly all languages across the world, Canadian and American both use question tags. However, Canadian tend to endure more flack for theirs. Canadian can turn any statement into a question by adding the question tag as in making a hamburger for dinner, American often do the same thing by adding a casual or right to the end of the sentence. Maybe these dialects aren't so different, And lastly, the vocabulary.
On vocabulary, though Americans and Canadians easily understand one another, there are few vocabulary differences that cause some confusions. For example, a Canadian acquaintance puts on runners while an American one prefers to use sneakers. American may be surprised that when a Canadian friend talks about paying their hydro bill, they meant their electric bill.
How to speak like a Canadian. washroom, restroom, men's room, ladies' room, hydro, electricity, Z, Z, tap, faucet, elastic, rubber band, quick, kilometer, Hangulary, take a left, sorry.
So you want to travel or study in Canada? Here's a couple things that you need to know. Canadians have some funny words for certain things that are very common, which you definitely need to know. Okay, so the first 3 words relate to money. We have buck, loonie, and toonie. Any guesses? So a buck is $1. It actually, if I say like, I have $1, it means I have $1. A loonie is technically also $1, but it is specifically the coin that has the value of $1. And that brings me to the next word, toonie. Toonie is the coin that has the value of $2. So if someone asks you for a loonie, they're specifically asking for that coin. They're not asking you if you have $1 in your bank account. They want to know if you have that coin. Same thing with the toonie. You might also hear this sentence. I think I want to go to Timmy's and get a double-double. Huh? Okay, so Timmy's is short for Tim Hortons. And Tim Hortons is basically the Canadian version of Starbucks. Little cheaper, maybe not quite as fancy, but still delicious. So what's a double-double? A double-double is double cream, double sugar in my coffee. A, we have a stereotype. We say this a lot. A is something you add at the end of a question to be like, right? It's cold outside today, eh? We don't really say soda like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. We don't really use the word soda. We say pop. For example, would you like a pop with your hamburger? And if you say, yeah, I'm from the 6, I live in the 6, we can thank Drake for this new word. So the 6 is a word to represent what was all the parts of Toronto, and now basically it's just Toronto. So the 6 is Toronto.